Hello, grade 9s. So yes, I know 2.8 comes after 2.7. But 2.8 is where we mix all of the exponent laws together. And I thought to myself, well, 2.9 I think is a little bit easier to do. So I figured when I'm not here, 2.9 is what we'll tackle first. And fingers crossed I will be back tomorrow and we will tackle 2.8 together. Just a quick reminder that we said that there would be an exit slip covering 2.5 to 2.7 when I come back, which again is hopefully tomorrow. So please make sure that you've filled out all the notes, you've done all the practice, because the questions on the exit slip are going to be similar to the ones that we've done in the practice and notes. So take a look at those, check your answers on Teams so that you're ready to go. All right, 2.9, using the E in BEDMAS. So now that we've tackled exponent laws, we're going to dial it back a little bit and say, well, what if we don't have any exponent laws at all? What if we just simply have powers with negative bases, or negative exponents, or just negative powers? Can we tackle those just as we would have before with that additional knowledge that we got of how to deal with negative powers, bases, and exponents? And that's what we're going to do here. And remember that if we are using BEDMAS, which we are, we should only be doing one, maybe two steps at a time, but we should be showing all of our work. We should not look at this and then just have an equals and my final answer. I should be showing where all of that comes from. So, before I even get started going through some of these examples, if you think you can tackle these on your own, please do. Please at least try them on your own, because I truly believe you were capable to do all of these questions at this point on your own with success. Okay, hopefully you paused, hopefully you tried them, now you're back. So if I'm taking a look at this, my first letter in BEDMAS is B, which stands for brackets. The first thing I'm going to tackle is that brackets. I'm going to leave everything else exactly as is, and I'm going to simplify 8 minus 6 to be 2. Now, you'll notice that I keep this 2 within the brackets in the odd chance that it is in fact negative, because if it were negative, then my next step of applying that exponent to the difference within that bracket would need to be included. That negative would need to be included in the repeated multiplication. Here we have a positive number, so it doesn't quite make a difference, but I'm always going to leave whatever I get in my brackets when I simplify it left in brackets just in case. Now my next letter is E. I have two sets of exponents here, so I'm going to tackle both of them. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And 2 times 2 is 4. Then I do the multiplication next. So I have 3 times 4 is 12. And then last but not least, I do the subtraction. 8 minus 12 is negative 4. And that's question A. So again, if you have not already paused and tried the rest, please do so. Give yourself an opportunity to see if you know what you're doing. Otherwise, come along with me and we will confirm your knowledge. All right, first step, just like before, is brackets. So I'm leaving that 6 squared and that divided. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. I'm leaving that in brackets just to be safe. My next step is my exponents. 6 times 6 is 36. My next step is division. 36 divided by negative 6 is negative 6. A positive divided by a negative will be negative. And then last but not least, we have negative 6 minus 6. Both of these equate to negative 12. Notice that in my work, as I'm going down, as I'm doing that work, everything else that's within the line remains within that line. I am not just doing one step and only showing work for that one step. I am showing that This line here is equal to the line above it, which is equal to the line below it, which is equal to the line below that, which is equal to my final answer. Every single line should be equal to the one above and or below it. All right. Question C. So I have my exponents first because there's nothing within brackets that I can simplify. And I know that 4 squared is 4 times 4, which is 16. My next step is that multiplication. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. And lastly, I end up with a final answer of positive 4. Example D. So again, we have exponents being our first step. I'm also going to look at this double sign and simplify that as well. I know that a minus, a negative, is the equivalent as a plus sign. So I'm not only going to just go ahead and tackle that negative 5 all to the power of 2, but I'm also going to tackle that double sign. So I have negative 3 plus 2 plus a negative 5 times negative 5. That negative's included in repeated multiplication because it's within the brackets. So I'm going to get 25, and I still have that minus 2 at the end. Now I end up with this giant addition-subtraction statement, and I'll do them 2 at a time, but you can tackle them more at once if you wish. So negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. Everything else stays the same. Negative 1 plus 25 is 24. And last but not least, 24 minus 2 is 22. So once again, once we get to this step where it's just straight up addition or subtraction, you are able to do a few more of those at once. For example, you could have done negative 3 plus 2 as well as 25 minus 2 and then combine those two values at the end to get our final answer of 22. Or you could take it one step at a time, whatever you feel most comfortable with. We've got 2 examples left, and then we are all done. So again, exponents go first. So I'm going to leave everything exactly as is and tackle those exponents. 4 times 4 is 16, and 16 times 4, well, that's 64. And if I didn't know that, there's no shame there, because I know I can do 4 times 4 is 16, 16 times 4. If I don't know that, I'm always welcome to do that vertical multiplication to confirm. All right, now that we've got this, I have to tackle multiplication before addition. And so I get 10 times negative 7, giving me negative 70. And I'm left with negative 70 plus 64, which gives me negative 6. Okay, last one here. If you have not paused yet, now is your time. Try it on your own. You can do great things. And now that you're back after attempting it, we are going to roll with it. The first thing I have here is my brackets. And within my brackets, I have negative 2 minus 4, which gives me negative 6. So again, everything outside of that remains the same. When I simplify my brackets, I'm keeping them in brackets just in case there's a negative that I need to take to a power of an exponent. And look, there is. And that's going to be a super important thing, because if I had negative 6 not in brackets, then negative 6 squared would be a negative answer. But when I have negative 6 in brackets, I'm going to result in a positive answer because I have an exponent of 2. So my next step here will, of course, be to deal with those exponents. So everything else remains the same. And negative 6 times negative 6 gives me positive 36. And now I have addition subtraction. So I'm going to tackle 2 at a time. So I have negative 3 minus 3 giving me negative 6. And I have -6 plus 36, which is essentially the same as 36 minus 6, which is just 30. And that concludes all of the examples from 2.9. So hopefully 2.9 felt a lot easier than some of the earlier content, because really we're just building on the idea of how do we deal with negative powers, bases, and exponents in real life examples that we've seen just as before. So following this is some practice. Ooh, so exciting. Take a look at this practice, complete it, check your answers on Teams, and again, be prepared for a 2.5 to 2.7 exit slip happening tomorrow. And after that exit slip, we will also tackle 2.8. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Bye.